everyone. Today we're going to talk about photography because photography is, I think, one of quite a high converting side of your business, including your profile photo. And I've known a number of people whose profile photos have been absolutely rubbish, and I've had to ask them to go and seek a professional photographer, like my guest today, Claire Smith, to get to capture the image of them, because it helps with their personal branding as well. So Claire, thank you very much for letting me interview you. So what is the difference between, say, you've taken a photo of yourself, or someone taking a photo of you, or you putting up a photo of you on holiday, and then having a professional photograph done?
In essence, I'd say that the big difference is actually understanding the light. Having the right equipment and the right skills, of course, is very important too, but understanding the light that you're taking the picture in, and the background and the composition, and just being able to actually get all of those things right. I think sometimes when people have a friend take a picture for them, or they take their own picture, sometimes they get a nice picture and it's a bit of luck and they're not quite sure why. Obviously a professional photographer is trained to make sure they get that right picture every time, establish the rapport with the person they're photographing, and get that relaxed, natural, warm expression.
And that's the difference, isn't it? Having somebody who isn't very comfortable and is conscious of them being photographed, and therefore you don't get the natural their personality coming through. So because you're quite a calming person, having met you.
Oh,
no, you are, and I can imagine that having photographs done with you is actually quite easy. I take it you don't.
Yes.
Most people come away feeling that was great.
Oh well, I must say that in general, absolutely, and I have had clients who've come, adults really, children tend to have fun, but adults who say, no one's ever taken a good picture of me, I hate having my picture taken, and then by the time we've actually spent, sometimes only 20 minutes even together and relaxed, and we've taken a few, and I might shoot connected with my laptop so they can see what we're getting, and they go, oh, I quite like that one, oh, I really like that one, oh goodness, and then they just relax it. Because so much of it is about light, and if the lighting is right, well as a good lens, a good camera and all the rest of it, then actually, we look right rather than having shadows in places that make us look and feel, bad about ourselves. So yes, absolutely, I like to think that a lot of what I do is that personal interaction. It's a people job, not just a technical job, being a photographer and connecting with the people.
And I guess, because from a conversion point of view, eye tracking studies that have been done in the past and continue to be done have proved that and I'll put up a photo about this in a bit, but if you've got somebody who's having their photograph taken and they want to be fairly serious, and those that are actually smiling, there's a huge difference between where people look and how often they then flick between looking at whatever content you've got and then flicking back to your photo, because people make that judgment, don't they, as well, on whether you're trustworthy. If you're not smiling in a photo, or at least having some sort of cheeky, you don't know much about me, but then I often have those cheeky ones. But it just gives that
warmth and connection.
Yes, that warmth and connection. Absolutely.
Absolutely right.
What is it? I'm sure. Did you tell me about an example of a gentleman who said, "Oh, photos. I don't go off photos and stuff like that."
Yes. It was someone I met at a dinner party. Actually, would happen to be talking about what I do and about the impact that a good profile picture can actually have. And he said, I just on LinkedIn, I just have one that I cut myself out, from one that I liked at a party. And I said, well, actually, I recently photographed a client for the second time, and she said to me, I'm so glad you're taking the pictures again, Claire, because I know, because I've asked my clients why they chose to send their business to me. She's a solicitor. Why did they choose me? And quite often they've said, because we really liked your picture. And so I'm so glad that you're taking them again in the new style, because I really want that to continue. And when I mentioned this to the person that I'd met at the dinner party, I said, but I had a client who told me she gets more business because of the picture I took of her. He then said to me, oh, And I've just realised that actually, when I needed to find a consultant to do some work, I needed an operation on my knee and I needed to find someone, I actually chose the consultant to approach largely because of his picture. So then he sort of thought for another moment and said, when can I book him and come and have my picture taken with you for my profile? Subsequently taken his picture. So he suddenly realised he didn't think it was important, but when he thought about how he behaved, he realised actually it is important.
So it's important to people's buying decisions.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
One last question then. Do colours, do what people wear make a difference to how the photograph comes out?
Yes, definitely, and part of, again, what a professional photographer will do is to talk to someone about them, their personality and their business, to try and understand what might be right for them, and to obviously see their colouring. Quite often I ask people to bring a couple of different tops with them, or scarves, or whatever it might be, jacket, just so that we've got some options on the day. But colours can either sort of complement, or they can be distracting, or they can be too strong. I mean, red, for example, is a fantastic colour in an image when it's used in the right place and for the right reasons, but it can draw the eye and then away from the face potentially. So colour, it has to be, it does, yes, it needs to be right for the general person's colouring, but it also needs, you also need to feel that if it's a business person that you're reasonably smart, but if you're a roofer, and I photographed a roofer recently, then he wants to obviously be more casual, he might want to photograph outdoors rather than in a studio. So it's got to be right for the person, and their job, but it's also, the colours can work with you or they can fight against your colouring.
You know your stuff. Brilliant. That's been insightful. Insightful, is that the right word? Yes, I think it is.
Thank you.
But it's a pleasure to talk to you. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen watching. Please check your profile photo out, and if you're thinking, perhaps I do need to change it, then please contact Claire or your nearest photographer.
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much.